What's up, guys? We are back with Q&A numero tres. All right, let's get back into it. First set of questions come from a long-time question asker that has been a little bit vacant for a while, but he is back. Francis W22. What were the worst heel and face turns in the WWE in your opinion? One of the worst heel turns, in my personal opinion, that I can remember is the fact that they turned Stone Cold Steve Austin heel in the first place. And then, secondly, it was at WrestleMania in Texas. That was going to work. He's sitting there. He turns heel and he helps. Vince McMahon helps him beat The Rock, and the crowd goes crazy. And WWE's like, bacon. I'm like, guys, you really think that Texas was going to say, boo, Stone Cold? No. It's the thing I've always said. Heel or face, if you like a guy, it doesn't matter. I like The Rock. If The Rock turns heel, I'm not going to stop liking The Rock. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that was not going to work. Worst face turn that I can think of? CM Punk. The reason people liked him was because he was the guy who was a heel, but the point, like, the kind of heel he was the guy that spoke out against the company and kind of said, hey, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that, it's always the same stuff. Then they turn him a face, and he's just like everybody else. I like good guys. I hated face CM Punk. It drove me freaking insane. Obviously, it wasn't all bad, but how about instead of turning them face and turning them into something they're not, when they turn face, how about just let them be the same character they were that got them loved by the fans, just towards different people? Mind-boggling. Which of the Shield do you see becoming a champion first? And what belts would you put on each of them before or after they eventually split? Champion first? Roman Reigns is the easy answer, but I don't see Roman Reigns as an IC or US champion. I see him, his first belt, being one of the world titles, probably the world heavyweight title. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins I could see as tag champs at some point. I could see them as mid-card champions or as world champions. Roman Reigns, I think, has the look, and just I don't see him as a mid-card kind of guy or a tag team guy unless he was the enforcer of the two. But so I would say either Rollins or Ambrose first. And what titles would I put on them? Roman Reigns I would have be the world heavyweight champion first. Seth Rollins I would do the IC belt. He could have some good feuds there before he eventually moved up. Or the tag team titles with Ambrose, and then same thing with Ambrose. Do you think we'll ever see Mrs. Foley's baby boy Mick in another hardcore match, and who would you put him against? Personally, I'd go with Ziggler because he'd sell like a champ. I think it's up to Mick Foley. You know, if he wants to put his body through that, why not? You know what I mean? And I'd love to see it. And my pick would honestly be Ziggler as well. I honestly thought they were headed towards that direction earlier in 2012. I guess later in 2012 when they started teasing the whole like Team Foley versus Team Ziggler and all that kind of stuff. I thought maybe we'd end up getting Mick Foley versus Dolph Ziggler. And I think it would help Dolph Ziggler a lot. Kind of like if you think back to Mick Foley's matches with Triple H, Hell in a Cell matches, that kind of stuff. The hardcore IC title match with Randy Orton that really helped Randy Orton solidify himself as like, okay, this guy's going to be for real. So I hope we see him again, and I agree with your opponent of Dolph Ziggler. Viper Princess 92. Great name. Great name. Great name. How would you book Randy Orton's rumored heel turn? That's a hard one. Texting back. Oh my hell. It's kind of hard to book a thing right off the end, but I'm trying to think of who I wanted to feud with. That would help a lot. Who's over on SmackDown? Ryback? Free. Have him. I don't know. I want him to. I don't know. Either Ryback or Sheamus. Kick Ryback in the nuts and say, yeah, suck it. and then punt him in the face, and then Ryback just doesn't wrestle anymore. I don't know. It's hard to book a heel turn, but I hope it happens. I hope they have a better idea than I do of how to do it. And then I want to see him go up against Ryback or Sheamus as far as the SmackDown brand's concerned. And I'm telling you, before they become irrelevant or their career's over, we need a one-on-one match. John Cena versus Randall Keith Orton at WrestleMania. Book it. Warty Penis. I'm sorry. Do you think WWE should have a War Games themed pay-per-view since they have the rights? I wasn't a big WCW guy. It wouldn't do anything for me. It'd be cool to see. Jake was the one that was when I was talking to him. He's a big War Games advocate, so I know Jake would want to see it. So based on that, why not? It'd be cool. I mean, again, I have no feelings one way or the other towards it. If they did it, I'd say cool. If they don't, I won't ever bring it up. It's like whatever. But Jake seemed he was a pretty big advocate of having them do it. So why not, I guess? I mean, if you can, why not do it? The Supreme Phantom. Where do you send the questions? Well, Supreme Phantom, you can comment in the description. What the hell am I talking about? You can leave a comment below in the comment box. Or you could inbox on here. That's about it, I guess, because I don't really check our Twitter as far as questions go. So, yeah, it's probably your best bet is the two I just said. Orton Straight Brother. Who turns heel first, Ryback or Sheamus? I would say Ryback because they've been hinting towards it. Sheamus, there's just really no point. I mean, he wins all the time. What pisses him off? Like, I win too much, fella. I need to fight the good guys. I will turn heel. Like that was a weird accent for Irish. I apologize, Francis W22, for disgracing your people. But so I would say Ryback just because it makes more logical sense. Because again, what's Sheamus got to be pissed about? I mean, Ryback's the one that keeps getting screwed by the Shield. And, he's just losing all the time now. So it makes much more logical sense to have Ryback do it, than Sheamus. Because, like I said, Sheamus is just chilling. So I don't really see a point. Whoops. No, show question. Why do they not? Okay, there we go. Zalexith. Zalix. That's a cool name. I don't know why your thing was marked as spam, but I unhit it. What is your dream card for WrestleMania? All wrestlers, past, present, dead or alive included. Of course, all in their primes. Well, this is kind of out of the blue, so this is weird. I don't know if I can just make one up out of the blue. But we'll try for the viewers at home. Oh, Lord. Lord of our fathers. This one is gonna be a separate video. If I don't do it, remind me. But this one will take some thought. That's not one of those questions where you can just be like, yeah, so remind me of that one, okay? Or I'll remind myself, whatever. But that's a great question. That'd be a fun video to do, and it'll take too long to just. I don't want to have to sit here and go through the process of thinking in my head. That'll take a lot, and it'll look stupid. So I'll do a separate video for you. Do you like David Caruso? He was the star of CSI Miami. His character never made eye contact and always said cheesy one-liners and kept putting the sunglasses on and off. I never watched CSI Miami. Let me Google what he looks like. See if I have any. See if I have any, David Caruso. Oh, okay. I recognize that guy, probably just from trailer or commercials of CSI Miami, apparently. But he looks like Mitch Smith's uncle. So that's cool. Do you watch the JBL and Cole show? No, but I probably need to, so you inform me, Will Ferrell. Number one, is it on YouTube? Is it a website? Is it on WWE.com? Tell me where it is and I'll watch it. What do you think of Michael Cole now that he has face again? It's weird. It's weird just because when I started watching wrestling again back a couple of years ago, he was the heel, and he was a heel for so long, and you grew to hate him, and then all of a sudden it was just like it's like a slow thing, and then all of a sudden he's a full on face again, and it's just weird. I mean, does that make JBL technically the heel commentator? I don't know, but I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I think it's okay. Mike Adams Smasher. What is your favorite superhero movie? This one comes. Oh, this one's hard. This one's hard because uh, let's see. Let me just run through the big ones real quick. Iron Man 1, for me. Captain America, for me. Thor, loved the movie Thor. I loved that. Thor is up there for me. Um, Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton was it was okay. The Avengers, loved. Batman Begins, not but not up there. It was somewhere in the middle of and good. I mean, it was a good movie, but compared to The Dark Knight, yes. The Dark Knight Rises, yes. Avengers, yes. So if I had to, oh, that's hard. I'm not even. You didn't ask me to put them in order, so I'm not going to. But Dark Knight Rises. Oh shit. Avengers, Dark Knight Rises. But if I had to pick number one, as in the one I've seen the most times and the one I would watch right now, Dark Knight Rises. Loved that freaking movie. So, but that's a really good question because that's hard as well. But those are my three, and I loved Thor too. But you know, I don't understand what people do. But where was I? What WCW pay per view do you want to see on the WWE pay per view schedule? I already told you I didn't care about WCW, but what I'm trying to think. I had an old N64 game, Halloween Havoc, I think it was called. That was a blast. I always loved playing WCW versus NWO. Revenge, I think it was called, on N64, and I'd always pick Halloween Havoc Stadium, and I'd just be boom, 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 boom. And what is your favorite TNA gimmick match? I don't watch TNA either, but probably. Uh, um, probably. I can't even think of that many. I can only think of a couple, but the Ultimate X one, the X Division one, where they crawl. Boom, 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 boom. I like that one. That's pretty cool. There's people hip hopping around all over the place. Will Foskill. Is the Montreal Screwjob the greatest work of all time? Yes, I think so. I really do think so. A lot of people will disagree. Probably more will disagree than do agree. But I'm one of the people that thinks, to a certain extent, maybe not the whole thing, but to a certain extent, yes, that was a work, and it was probably the greatest work of all time. Seeing that Antonio Cesaro has held the U.S. title for over 6 months, it will be a big deal once he loses it. Which leads me to asking, who do you think he will take the strap from him? I agree. I didn't even realize it was a 6 months reign until at Elimination Chamber. I'm like, he's had this since the SummerSlam pre-show. This is kind of a big deal. He's been in there like swimwear. You can use that if you want. But personally, I don't want this to happen. But you didn't say when do I want him to. You said when do I think it will. I think it will be to Mike the Miz Mizanin, star of Marine 3, at the grandest stage of them all, New York, New Jersey, WrestleMania 29, where I will hopefully be in attendance, hopefully in a great mood because it's not raining or snowing, and hopefully because The Rock will once again rise and defeat John Cena's monkey ass and carry the title for 965 consecutive days before he drops it to Brock Lesnar's brother, Brick Lesnar. That sounds good to me. On that note, I'm going to end this Q&A. We'll see you later.